Hello, welcome to 6-Minute Grammar with me, Rob.
And me, Catherine. Hello.
Today we're talking about the past perfect tense.
Yes, the past perfect. When we want to talk about two things that happened at different times in the past, we can use the past perfect tense. And that's a subject with had plus the past participle. And here's Harry with our first example.
Mary rang John's doorbell at 8:15 yesterday, but John had gone to work.
And let's hear that again.
Mary rang John's doorbell at 8:15 yesterday, but John had gone to work.
Thanks, Harry. Now, we could put these two events in the past simple tense, something like this.
John went to work, then Mary rang John's doorbell.
And once again, Harry.
John went to work, then Mary rang John's doorbell.
Or we can change the order of events in the sentence and use the past perfect, that's had with the past participle, to show which event actually happened first.
Mary rang John's doorbell at 8:15 yesterday, but John had gone to work.
And once again.
Mary rang John's doorbell at 8:15 yesterday, but John had gone to work.
And here, the past perfect in John had gone shows that this happened before the past simple phrase Mary rang John's doorbell. So we have Mary rang John's doorbell at 8:15 yesterday, but John had gone to work.
Exactly. Now let's look at some more examples.
I was pleased when I got a text from Jim because I'd lost his number.
Let's hear that again.
I was pleased when I got a text from Jim because I'd lost his number.
So we've got two past events. First, Harry lost Jim's number, then he got his text. But in Harry's sentence, the event that happened first in time is mentioned second in the sentence.
So he uses the past perfect, I'd lost his number, to show that the second event he mentions actually happened first.
I was pleased when I got a text from Jim because I'd lost his number.
Now in spoken English, the past perfect can sometimes be difficult to hear.
Yes, that's true. In our example just now, the two words I had are shortened to I'd. I'd lost his number.
So had is shortened to just a d sound. Listen out for the short d sound in this next example.
When Mrs. Brown opened the washing machine, she realised she'd washed her phone.
And again.
When Mrs. Brown opened the washing machine, she realised she'd washed her phone.
Did you catch that?
First, Mrs. Brown washed her phone in the washing machine. Oh dear. Then she opened the washing machine. Then she realised she'd washed her phone.
Yes, and the phrase she had washed is shortened to she'd washed. One more time, please, Harry.
When Mrs. Brown opened the washing machine, she realised she'd washed her phone.
Oops, that's an expensive mistake. Poor Mrs. Brown.
Yeah, she won't do that again.
No.
6-Minute Grammar from bbclearningenglish.com.
Now for a quiz. I'm going to say some sentences, and as you listen, try to decide what happened first and what happened second. Here's the first one. I woke up late because I'd forgotten to set the alarm.
Okay, so the past perfect here is I'd forgotten, and the order of events was first, I forgot to set the alarm, and second, I woke up late. Here it is again.
I woke up late because I'd forgotten to set the alarm.
Great. Another one. I hadn't brought a towel, so I couldn't have a shower.
How embarrassing. Okay, and we've got the negative of had, which is hadn't. So first, I didn't bring a towel, and second, I couldn't have a shower. Here it is again.
I hadn't brought a towel, so I couldn't have a shower.
Good. And for the last one, when they got to the station, they realised they'd left the tickets at home.
This one has three events. First, they left the tickets at home. Second, they got to the station. And third, they realised that the tickets were at home.
Yes, and the past perfect phrase, they had left, was shortened to they'd left, which helps us show the order.
When they got to the station, they realised they'd left the tickets at home.
Now, a mistake people sometimes make with the past perfect is they use it too much, or they use it just because they're talking about something that happened a long time ago, such as
Jackie had gone to a football match last month.
Yes, there's only one past event here, so we probably just need the past simple tense.
Jackie went to a football match last month.
So that's the past perfect. It's made of had plus the past participle, and we mainly use it to talk about a past event that happened before another past event.
There's more about this on our website at bbclearningenglish.com. Join us again for more 6-Minute Grammar. Bye.
Bye.
Hi everyone, I'm James, and today we're going to talk about the past perfect tense, how we form it and why we use it. By the time I arrived at the airport, the plane had already left. In this example, had left is the past perfect tense. The structure for the past perfect tense is had plus a past participle. There are two past actions, arriving at the airport and the plane leaving. But which of these happened first? The clue is the past perfect tense. The action in the past perfect is the action that always happens first. Because the verb leave is in the past perfect, had left, we know that this action happened first. The action that happens second is often in the past simple tense. In this example, I arrived. When you want to talk about two past actions, one which happened before the other, remember to use the past perfect for the first action and the past simple for the second. Thanks for joining us for this English in a Minute.
Hello and welcome to today's grammar game show. I'm your host, Will, the last document that ever matters. And of course, let's not forget Leslie, our all-knowing voice in the sky.
Hello, everyone!
Tonight we're going to ask you 3 questions about
The past perfect. That useful tense using had and a past participle for talking about the past that's past the past.
Okay, now let's meet our contestants.
Hi, Will. My name's Mark.
And contestant number 2.
Hello, everyone. I'm Levington.
Welcome back, Levington. Win this one and you'll be on a par with our last champion, Maya.
Really? Where is she now?
Oh, don't worry about her. She's squiddled away somewhere. Okay, let's get going, and don't forget, you can play along at home too. Our first round is a Find the Mistake round. Can you correct the mistake in each of these sentences? I didn't eat by the time I had left home.
I hadn't eaten by the time I left home.
Correct.
When I had arrived home, my sister already made lunch.
When I arrived home, my sister had already made lunch.
Correct.
I had woken up late because I forgot to set my alarm clock.
I woke up late because I'd forgotten to set my alarm clock.
Correct.
Leslie?
Good job, everyone. The past perfect describes actions that happened before the point in the past that we are currently speaking about. Once a time in the past has been set, it allows us to go back for a moment to a point before that. Events in the past perfect always take place before the past simple or past continuous.
Well done, have 23 points between you, to be divided according to the day of the week and the strength of your personality. Let's have a bonus question. Look at this sentence and tell me how the verb phrase had should be pronounced.
I had a shower.
Do it again.
I had a shower.
Oh, sorry, I didn't quite catch that. Try closing one eye and pulling your lips back.
Had?
One more time. Maybe hold your arms above your head.
Had.
One for luck. Just lift your leg. A little higher. Higher still.
Had.
Totally wrong, I'm afraid. And your attempt to distract us with your weird body movements only make things more embarrassing for you. What a shame. Levington?
I had a shower.
Well done. Leslie?
When had is pronounced as an auxiliary verb, it takes its weak form. If the main verb is also had, we pronounce the first one weak and the second one strong. I had a great time.
15 points for Levington. On to question 2. The past perfect is formed with had and a past participle verb. But in which other grammatical structure is the past perfect's form required?
It's got to be the past perfect continuous. Had plus been plus verb ing.
A swing and a miss there, Levington. Mark, would you like to give it a try?
No idea.
Are you sure? If Levington had known the answer, he would have got the points.
Oh, third conditional. It's a third conditional.
Leslie?
Well done. The third conditional is used to talk about the possible consequences of past events that didn't happen. Its formula uses the past perfect in the conditional clause. If plus had plus the past participle, would plus have plus the past participle.
Well done. If Levington had given me the answer, I would have given him 20 points. But for you, 3. On to our last question. The past perfect can also be used to talk about unrealized hopes. In this case, its pronunciation changes significantly. How?
Isn't the auxiliary verb usually stressed instead of unstressed?
Very good. Can you give me an example?
I had intended to just do my best, but now I want to beat Maya's record.
Good for you! Maya was a lot more intelligent than you are, but people love an underdog. Leslie?
Well done! The past perfect is often used to express unrealized hopes. Those are things we wanted but didn't happen. Verbs like wish, hope, intend, and want are common in this structure. We also usually stress the auxiliary verb.
Well done, Levington. 6 points for you. I had hoped that I would be able to sleep the whole night through by now, but the dreams... Papa! Papa! Don't leave, Papa! Well, that brings us to the end of today's grammar game show. Let's count out the points. And the winner is... Mark, with 12 points. Well done. Here's what you've won.
It's an expired light bulb. Very illuminating.
We'll see you again next week where you can play for another prize. And Levington, so close but so far. Even though you didn't win, did you do well?
Well, I had hoped. Well...
Here come the crocodiles. It looks like we'll need another contestant. Thanks for joining us. Say goodbye, Leslie.
Auf Wiedersehen, Leslie.
Oh, see you next time.
Hello and welcome to 6 Minute Grammar with me, Neil.
And me, Catherine. And today we're talking about the past perfect continuous tense,
Which we use to give background information to an event in the past. We'll give you lots of examples.
We'll explain when to use the past perfect simple instead of the past perfect continuous.
And of course, we'll finish with a quiz.
Let's start with an example. Here's Finn.
Joe and Alice got together in 2012. Joe had been living in London for 2 years when they met.
So, we use the past perfect continuous to talk about something that was happening before another event or situation in the past. We can use it when we want to say how long this earlier action was happening for.
Now, in this case, Joe had been living tells us what Joe was doing up to the time he met Alice.
That's right, and the later action, when they met, was in the past simple. Let's hear that example again.
Joe and Alice got together in 2012. Joe had been living in London for 2 years when they met.
Here's another example. Which action happened first?
We had been trying to open the door for 5 minutes when I finally found the key.
So, we had been trying, in the past perfect continuous, was the earlier action.
Exactly. Now, sometimes the action or situation that happens first in time comes second in the sentence. Listen to this.
Jack ran the marathon in less than 3 hours. He had been training for it since 2010.
So, the past perfect continuous phrase, he had been training, came in the second part of the sentence, but it happened earlier in time.
Yes, and the event that happened later in time, Jack ran the marathon, was in the past simple and it came first in the sentence.
Right, so here's another sentence. Can you work out which action or event happened first?
He missed the train, which he'd been hoping to catch.
And the earlier action there was he'd been hoping.
That's right. So in that example, the past perfect continuous was in a relative clause, which he had been hoping.
That's quite common with the past perfect continuous. And another common structure to use with past perfect continuous is a time conjunction like this.
After I had been swimming for an hour, I was so cold I had to stop.
So we had after plus I had been swimming.
Yes, and that is the past perfect continuous in relative clauses and after time conjunctions.
Now, we form the past perfect continuous with subject plus had been and the present participle of the main verb. So here are those examples again. Finn.
Joe had been living. We'd been trying. I had been swimming.
And for negative sentences, it's subject plus hadn't been and the present participle.
I hadn't been waiting very long when the bus arrived.
And don't forget those short forms. I had becomes I'd. We had is we'd. Had not is hadn't, and so on.
6-minute grammar
from the BBC.
And we're talking about the past perfect continuous.
We often use it to give background information about a situation or event that was happening up to another event in the past.
Which is usually in the past simple.
Sometimes we can use either the past perfect simple or the past perfect continuous, particularly for activities that continue for a long time, like work, run, or sleep.
So we can say,
Patrick felt refreshed because he had slept all afternoon.
Or we can say,
Patrick felt refreshed because he had been sleeping all day.
But if the earlier action had been completed, then we use the past perfect simple.
I'd already cooked supper when Jan got home.
If the earlier action is incomplete, use the past perfect continuous to focus on the process or the length of time that the action continued rather than the end result.
And now it's time for our quiz. Which is correct? Number 1, A. I'd only been waiting a few minutes when the bus arrived. B. I only waited a few minutes when the bus had arrived.
It's A. We need the past perfect continuous for the earlier action or situation.
Correct. Number 2, A. After they'd been walking for 3 hours, they realised they were lost. B. After they walked for 3 hours, they'd realised they were lost.
And it's A again. The earlier action was the walking, so that's in the past perfect continuous.
Good. Finally, number 3, A. Sam finally bought the car that he'd saved up for. B. Sam finally bought the car that he'd been saving up for.
And this time, both are correct.
That's right. Well done if you got them all right. There's lots more about this on our website at bbclearningenglish.com. Join us again for more 6-Minute Grammar. Bye.
Bye.
Hi guys, Dan here for BBC Learning English with this week's Learner Question. Find out what it is after this. Okay, this week's Learner Question comes from Nikki from Hungary, who writes, "The following sentence has been giving me a headache for weeks now. Could you please give me the correct answer and justify it? When was the last time you had ate in this restaurant? 2 weeks ago." Okay, Nikki, you ready? Here we go. So, in your example, it has to be the past simple. When was the last time you ate in this restaurant? 2 weeks ago. Now, the past simple refers to finished periods of time or moments of time. It refers to a definite past. So, it's often used with time adverbials such as last night, some time ago, in 1985, earlier today, at 6 o'clock this morning, the last time, the first time, etc., etc., etc. And don't forget that the auxiliary verb is did. For example, the first time I ever rode a horse was on my 7th birthday, and the last time was 6 months ago. The past simple can also be used to refer to repeated past events and past habits and past states. For example, when I was small, we lived in a cottage by the sea and I played every day on the beach. Now, the past perfect is formed using had plus a past participle verb. And we use it when we're already discussing the past and wish to refer back to an event that happened before this point. For example, when I got to the cinema, the film had already started. Now, the past perfect can also be used with words like after, as soon as, when, and once, but usually only to emphasize that one action is quite separate and independent and has finished before another one. Remember, everything's in the past. So, compare these sentences. When I got out of the car, I bought a parking ticket. These two are connected. One follows the other. However, when I had got out of the car, a dog ran over to me. These two events are unconnected and separate. I hope that answers your question, Nikki. Thank you very much for writing to us. If anybody else out there has a question for Learners Questions, you can email us on learning.english@bbc.co.uk. Please remember to put Learners Questions in the subject box and your name and where you're writing from. We get a lot of emails, guys, and we can't answer every single one, but we do read them all. And for more information, go to our website, bbclearningenglish.com. That's it for this week's Learners Questions. I'll see you next time.
Hi everyone, we hope you enjoyed that video and thank you very much for watching. We have so many more just like it, so if you don't want to miss a single one, make sure to subscribe and we will see you regularly. Hope to see you soon. Bye guys.